Aloha, everyone. Welcome back to the negotiation table. My name is Wincy Hong, your host and communication specialist here at HGEA. And with us today, we have U.S. Representative Jill Takuda. Aloha.
Aloha.
Welcome back to the podcast, Congresswoman.
Thank you for having me. It's always nice, first of all, to be back home from Washington, D.C., but also to just sit at tables like this with you and talk amongst friends. So thank you for always thinking of me.
Yeah, thank you for making time in your very busy schedule. Before we dive into this month's conversation, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Okay, let's dive in. The Trump-Musk administration took over the federal government like a wrecking ball at the end of January, cutting vital public services, firing workers by the thousands, and threatening federal funding for local communities, all to pay for budget cuts for the ultra-wealthy billionaires. Congresswoman, thousands of our members are in jobs that rely on federal money, whether they're preparing school lunches or administering SNAP benefits. Many are concerned about what this chaos will mean for them. What do we know so far on how these reckless actions will affect us here at home?
Well, first of all, I think a wrecking ball might be an understatement from what we have seen from this Musk-Trump administration and their actions. It's not even attempts. They're downright actions to dismantle democracy and every government service that people rely on here in Hawaii and across this country. It has just been an absolute tragedy to witness and watch and to fight back. We are fighting back against it. But I have told people back here at home, some who have actually come up to me and said, why can't you support DOGE? Shouldn't you be against waste, fraud, and abuse? And I have to remind them, I was like, step back for a second. We live in Hawaii, where we are very closely connected. The people that we love, the people that we work with, the businesses that we have, every single person in Hawaii is 1 degree separation away from the hurt and the harm that has just been the absolute indiscriminate culling of federal employees, the freezing of federal funds, all of this chaos that the Musk-Trump administration has put on this country. 1 degree of separation from the pain. You might have your job and your benefits now, your business might be fine, but in very near future, you will understand what it means in terms of just the harm that has come from firing thousands of people right here at home, freezing millions and millions of dollars of funding right here, again, at home, and some of the policy decisions, starting needless trade wars, so many other things that ultimately will impact what has been a very fragile economy for us here in Hawaii. And so, sadly, with everything that's going on, Hawaii will personally feel the effects and the harms, from our workers to everyday people just trying to struggle to make it by. And that is something we have absolutely have to push back against.
Yes, we must. We're seeing mass firings of federal workers, even the gutting of agencies like the Department of Education. What's the ripple effect locally if our federal agencies no longer have the staff to administer programs states rely on?
You know, already people complain that help can't come fast enough, that answers to their questions from the federal government or dealing with the federal government is not quick, that they have to deal with the bureaucracy. Well, imagine a bureaucracy, and I say this in quotes, that has no one to answer the phone when you have a problem. And right now, with the thousands of firings of probationary employees, with individuals being bullied into taking deferred resignation offers, with the rift that we know is going right through all of our departments, if folks need help from the federal government with your Social Security, with your veterans of benefits, you know, with tax questions with the IRS, if you're a farmer and just trying to get answers on your loan or grants that you have, will there be anyone to pick up the phone on the other end? And right now, I can tell you our caseworkers in our own offices can tell you it's harder to get answers because there is literally no one there to pick up the phone. Now imagine if you dismantle the entire Department of Education, which for me, as a proud public school graduate and a proud public school mother of 2 boys right now in our schools, it might sound good in theory to say, well, let's let the states decide. Let's give them the money. But I think we all know, HGA members know, the money from the federal government has never been enough. It has never been enough. It has always had to be supplanted. It has always had to be supported by money locally. And to say, well, just take this check and go, that is going to cripple our ability to be able to provide educational opportunities, everyday opportunities like feeding and housing and other things to our people here in Hawaii, because we do not have that human infrastructure that exists right now at the federal level. You take away all of that, our ability to really provide services that people need in a timely fashion, get answers to their question in a timely fashion, we will not be able to do that. We are already seeing the slowdown of support and answers to people. It is only going to be further exacerbated. And then people, again, like I said, 1 degree of separation, they'll understand what it means, how firing people at the federal level impacts their ability to get answers to basic questions that they need, like their health care, like their Social Security check that helps them pay the rent, like their food money, like SNAP. Some very basic things will be very difficult to come by as a result of these firings and freezes that we are seeing, and dismantlings of departments, something I'd never thought we'd ever see.
Right. And recently, your Republican colleagues passed budget bills that will gut Medicaid to the tune of $800 billion. Then there's the richest man in the world, co-president Elon Musk,
Yep.
going on TV to say Social Security and Medicare should be eliminated entirely. These programs benefit our retirees, and rightfully, they are worried. How real are these threats?
I don't see how Americans, I don't care who you voted for in the presidential election, cannot see the hypocrisy in the richest man in the world who doesn't need to rely on Medicaid or Medicare for his health care, does not need SNAP to put food on his 14 children's table every single day, has not set his foot into a public school because that was where he got an education and the ability to have a chance in life. The hypocrisy in this person tearing all of these opportunities and great equalizers down for everyone else. I don't care who you voted for in the presidential or any congressional election. See the hypocrisy and harm in what he's doing, calling Social Security a Ponzi scheme. Well, that supposed Ponzi scheme is what helps grandma and grandpa stay in their homes, helps them eat, helps them buy prescription drugs to live long and better lives with the people that they love who've worked so hard to earn this. To call it a scheme and to be making up false rumors and information about how there's so much abuse and fraud in the Social Security system as a means to take it all away. Take it all away from our kupuna. That's pilau, right? My grandma would say, that's pilau. That's downright pilau. We cannot allow this man to continue. We cannot allow Doge to make up lies and false information just so they can steal away what you have earned, whether it's your Social Security, whether it's the Medicaid you need to take care of your family, whether it's SNAP to put food on the table. These are outright egregious harms. Veterans benefits, literally people who have sacrificed so much for our country, now having their health care taken away from them. This is abuse on abuse. And that's what the budget bills that the House Republicans are pushing. Absolute harms to Americans, to the most basic things that they need to live. Food on the table, health care to keep them well. Veterans benefits that they have earned above and beyond. Social Security, you've worked hard your whole life. Your members understand this principle. A commitment, a contract is a contract. Honor it. We are not honoring our side of so many contracts and commitments and bargains. And to me, well, too bad for Americans. Every day that I've worked hard, they don't have a negotiating table to go back to say, hey, you've reneged on your part of the deal. How can I take care of myself? We're here as Democrats to fight, to say that what was decided at negotiation tables like this for Social Security, for Medicaid, for SNAP, we must honor it and we must take care of our people.
Absolutely. And we've seen a lot of calls for Democrats in Congress to do more to fight against these attacks. Although, honestly, it's not clear what can be done with Republicans holding a governing trifecta. Can you talk about what actions you and your colleagues are taking?
We are doing absolutely everything we can, from battling it at the court level, to sending letters, to introducing legislation, to making sure that our Republican colleagues see that this is as much, if not more, harm to them and their districts and their constituents as it is to us. We are looking for brave souls from the Republican Party to step up and help stand with us against these egregious harms and cuts, but it's been difficult. I'm not going to lie that there's no easy solution. What I would tell people is we cannot lose sight of who truly is the enemy at the door. In fact, the enemy has entered the building. It's easy to try to place blame and to be critical of each other. But let's not forget our real strength is our ability to stick together and fight the real fight. And that is my concern right now, is it is easy to poke at the Senate. It's easy to poke at House Democrats. It's easy to poke at President Biden, everyone else, everyone who's ever had a stake in the Democratic game. But let's remember, it's the Republicans and their agenda against America. It's their Project 2025. That's the real enemy. So we've got to stay focused. We got to do everything that we can. Just recently, I issued out a petition calling for people to say they must reinstate the 442nd website to the U.S. Army's webpage. It's been taken down. And they have since put it back up. But I will tell you this, it is not the same. It has been scrubbed. The content has been changed. We need to keep pushing every way that we can use our collective and individual voices to really push back against this harm. That is what we must do, but we must maintain focus, because right now it's too easy for us to criticize, yell at each other. But we have to remember the real enemy is the Musk-Trump administration. The real enemy is the inability for the Republican trifecta to understand what their role in government is, and that they are harming not just Democrats, but they are especially harming their own constituents. They're harming everyday Americans. So we've got to stay focused. We've got to stay focused. This is a long haul, and we've got to be prepared to fight at every single step of the way.
Absolutely. And recently you held a town hall that drew a crowd of hundreds, even in bright blue Hawaii. Many of us in labor have also been protesting, sign waving, calling our elected officials, like you. What more can we do to fight back against these attacks?
Keep doing what you're doing. I know it seems it's discouraging at times. I mean, I have stood in front of, the Housing and Urban Development building. I have stood in front of the Department of Education and fought back. I have stood with, thousands of our letter carriers and protests of them wanting to take over the postal service. Every rally I can go to, we have got to stand together. And we have to remember that while it seems dark, the sun will rise. We have to be prepared for every moment that we can, enjoy a break in the sunshine and break in the clouds, if you will. Those rallies, those calls to action, those provide real opportunities for everyday people to stand with our labor unions, to say that what we fight for, what we stand for is important. This is literally democracy at stake. So as much as it may seem discouraging, keep doing what you're doing. Let your voices be heard. One way that we're doing it is on our website. We have our Share Your Stories page. And I know it might seem frustrating to just rehash your hurt, rehash your harm, how you've been fired, or how the funding freeze meant you had to let go of valuable employees or opportunities for Hawaii, how you're scared of losing your Social Security check. It may seem like, what good is that? But the more we can put a human face to the harm and the hurt that these inhumane actions have done, that is going to help continue that momentum, keep us pushing forward, and it will at some point be a break in those clouds. It will mean that we can win those court cases. It will mean that we can find those brave Republicans to stop the harms that we are seeing at the congressional level. We have to stick together. And so please, one thing I've asked people is help share your stories. Be brave if you're willing to even be public about it, because the people even in blue Hawaii have to understand that there is very much local hurt and harm as a result of these actions that we have seen from the Musk-Trump administration. So I welcome folks coming out to our town halls. We've had very spirited discussions. I will say a lot of them, even the telephone town hall we did, I believe 86% of the responders said that they were very much against what DOJ has been doing and the cuts that they have been doing. So a lot of folks are standing up to express their anger and outrage. Keep doing that. Keep doing that. But please, as I said earlier, remember the real enemy is at the door. We have got to stick together. We have got to focus on pushing back against that versus constantly looking at criticizing what we have or have not been able to do, because this is a long game. This is a marathon. And all these efforts we do will get us to that better place.
On a slightly lighter note, you attended the State of the Union and literally wore a message on your sleeve for the Trump-Musk administration. Could you tell us about your decision to speak up in that way?
You know, and it's kind of funny because I think folks actually thought I might have bought it. It was me and a Sharpie pen and a pink jacket. As women of Congress, we decided we were going to wear pink in solidarity to express our outrage and our uprising against this administration's foul, disgusting actions. But I remember looking at I have many pink jackets, but looking at this jacket and thinking to myself, it's not enough. It's not enough. And I thought about what would not be said in that State of the Union speech, what would not be reflected. And I realized that what needed to be in the room but wouldn't be with this president is a respect and upholding of the Constitution, the most basic thing we all raise our right hand and swear by when we take that oath of office. The Constitution needed to be present and uplifted in the room. And so I literally wore the 14th Amendment on my sleeve, the power of the purse that Congress has on the other, and right across the edges, which you probably couldn't see, the fact that the Constitution puts it blatantly out there that the president must uphold the law. And if we think of what has been disrespected and denied, it's the Constitution and the word of law. And so, I took a pen to it, wrote it on my jacket, an uprising fist on the back to really remind folks that this is our moment and our challenge and our responsibility to stand up against affronts to the Constitution and the law. And so I was very proud of my handiwork and wore it proudly, on the House floor. And I do think it's those kinds of things we have to keep continuing to do, remind people in many cases, not just what is being said, but what is not being said in some of these pivotal moments in the history we're living right now.
We know you are busy, so we really appreciate you taking time to talk to our members. Do you have any last thoughts you want to share?
I just want to send them a big mahalo. I know right now is a scary time, and in all the jobs critically that they do in our communities, keeping people safe, they're on the front lines, they're in our schools, they're taking care of our natural resources. I mean, HGA members are absolutely everywhere. You are on the front lines. Thank you for what you do, because right now I know there's a lot of fear for your members and whether or not there will be resources to continue to do the important good work that they're doing, fear for their family as well, that might be seeing benefits potentially cut off, jobs lost. Please stay strong. Know you have friends, you have allies in Congress, in our communities, and we are here to stand by you no matter what comes next. But a big, big mahalo for everything that our HGEA Ohana does. For us, as you know, it's personal. For me, I consider myself a part of this Ohana as well. So again, please know you have a fighter, a defender, a friend in me. So thank you.
Thank you, and mahalo for that. We're really just so grateful to have your voice in Congress. So thank you for all that you have been doing. Join the conversation, everyone. In the comments, let us know if you are in a federally funded position. How have these anti-worker attacks by billionaires impacted you so far? Do you administer a program that relies on federal money? Tell us your story in the comments. And for more content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time.